Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this is part 2 of Uranus. Uranus as Lord of Karma. And Uranus is the first planet I'm filming in my Lords of Karma series. Now, in part 1, we looked at the mythic key to Uranus, and something of his energy, and why particularly I chose to make Uranus first, because I'm experiencing a Uranus transit conjunct my moon and opposite my sun, and I detailed what that had brought me. And I said that it's very important to understand that the planets are lords of karma. They bring us our karmas in our birth chart and in our predictive astrology, and it can be so necessary either to heal negative karmas or to make sure you're embracing the opportunity offered by positive karmas and sparks of achievement that you incarnated to express this time. And there's a blog associated with each video, and if you look at the blog associated with Uranus Part 1, you'll see loads more about the sort of astrology of Uranus than I could obviously fit into the video. So this Part 2 Uranus focuses on what we can learn from Uranus's discovery and his nature, the nature of his astrology, the nature of his energy. Okay, the discovery of Uranus. Well, there's quite an important message in this. So Uranus was discovered by William Herschel in 1781. And so that was obviously at the time of the French Revolution, the American Revolution against the British Empire, and the Industrial Revolution. So the energy of Uranus entered the human consciousness at that time. But there's a moral to this story. Another French astrologer had actually cited Uranus 12 times on earlier dates. But that astrologer did not have the courage of his convictions. He was fixed with the idea that Saturn was the outer planet. He ignored the evidence of his eyes. And we hope we don't do that when Uranus offers us revolution. Really important point. So, basically Uranus has an eccentric, jarring, difficult energy. As we heard in part 1, it can be very inhuman. So we need to perceive that and make sure we're not behaving in an inhuman way as we bring in needed revolution. And indeed it's expressed by the planet's orbit, because weirdly Uranus rolls along his orbit, whereas all the other planets spin more or less vertically. And there's another really weird thing, is that whereas the other planets all have like the Earth does, a North Pole with a fixed energy system, Uranus doesn't have that. It keeps pulsing and altering. And that's another key to how we receive that energy here on Earth. So let me see what else I can say about the discovery. Well, basically, because Uranus is a lord of karma, we need to perceive the exact karma. And so you can get this from an astrology reading or an astrology course, and if necessary, heal or empower yourself around that karma rather than just miss out on it or have it crush you. Okay, what is the nature of Uranus as a lord of karma? Well, positively, he's a force of creation. He creates us. He recreates us. He seeds the earth goddess Gaia as he seeds us with inspiration and seeing. He's the sky god of storms, lightning and inspiration. And so the storms, lightning and inspiration can be brought to us, and will particularly be brought to us in terms of the paradigm stated by our birth chart and the and the Uranus, you know, predictive experiences that we will have at predictable dates in our life. And Uranus's energy is futuristic, prophetic, and enlightened. So he gives us the big picture and the energy and vision to map our better path ahead. And so concerns that sort of dominated your life repetitively can just be sort of reduced to sort of, well, why on earth was I putting my focus there, when you suddenly get the big picture of what you can do with certain areas of your life from a Uranus transit. So his nature is difference, revolution, divine rebellion, breakout. Uranus calls for us to break from the mould and embody our difference. And so in that sense, Uranus can be the liberator, reforming, pioneering, iconoclastic. He liberates us from our Saturn-imposed and us-imposed limits and imprisonment. He creates alternatives. He calls us to the fullness of our creativity. And his energy is magnetic, generative, inventive, innovative. And so there's excitement and independence, freedom, cosmic dimensions we feel, pioneering, can even be shocking developments we didn't expect, didn't know were in us. All these qualities infuse our consciousness and suffuse our actions and plans, and our ability to stand up for ourselves. That's a big one that Uranus can bring us. Also, Uranus can be the trickster in a way, so we can be opened to ingenious or backhanded ways of breaking out of our chains and creating our advantage. And above all, Uranus is about technology and creativity. So it may be that we will have technological and IT issues come our way when we have a Uranus transit. And if you have a Uranus aspect in your birth chart, you could be quite good at IT. But negatively, and you need to hear this when you're assessing how Uranus manifests in your life from your birth chart, or at a time in your life from the predictive astrology, Uranus is mentally overloaded, definitely. Scattered, definitely. Half-finished projects, definitely. And then another thing is that Uranus, the god, was disappointed in his creation, the children that he sired on Gaia, if you remember from part 1. And that's a danger. You can be disappointed in your creations. They're never good enough. You don't celebrate them, maybe don't complete them, maybe don't fully harvest. And so it's very important to relax if you've got a big driven Uranus transit going on. Or if Uranus is a very big presence in your birth chart. You know, do things like dig the garden, for example, go for walks. And also remember that Uranus can be quite destructive. He's a fanatic, he's an iconoclast, he's angry. And yes, a guy's got to do what a guy's got to do, but the guy's also got to be kind and caring and monitor the energies he's embodying, his effects on other people. Because Uranus happens to us in a way that's sudden, explosive, impatient, ungrounded, deadly and cruel, frustrating, angry and overbearing, frantic, hurtful and turbulent. And also there seems to be a whole strand of Uranus manifestation that leads us to be the outcast. It's because we're so different from our family, or so different from our work colleagues, or our society. And that has to be dealt with and understood, otherwise we can get very bitter and sort of advocate, I don't know, pulling down every Catholic church in Ireland because of what the Catholic Church has done to us, for example. So, that completes part 2 of my Uranus video presentation. So go to part 3, where we look at the astrology of Uranus more, the details of the astrology. Thank you.